What's up guys? So I just released an album and it's called Dumb Kid Robot Brain. I've been working on this album for 3 years now. I started working on it in August of 2022 and I legit thought I was gonna release it that year. But as time went by I got to meet new people and I got to have new experiences, and because of that the album would change over time and it would grow and evolve. So the album in its core is about feeling like a kid again when dealing with certain problems. We feel innocent, naive, and maybe even dumb. And I wanted to express those thoughts and feelings through electronic or computerish sound, hence the name Dumb Kid Robot Brain. When making this album I went through different versions of the cover art, but this is what I ended up using. Even the tracklist of this album looked very different at the start, but some of the songs from the original tracklist did make it to the final version of the album. So I started the album with Leave Me Alone, which I believe was the first song that I worked on in this album. When I was making this, I was really obsessed by this song by Star Kids called Flash. So that was kind of an inspiration when I was making Leave Me Alone. I released an early version of this song in SoundCloud in 2022, but earlier this year I sent the song to Jack and he reworked it and remixed it. It kind of became this like Budot style song, which I really like, and it's really sick because it's still that hype song that draws you in the album. Okay, so the next track is Okay. This is also one of the first songs that I worked on the album. The track is quite short, but it's very in your face. If I remember correctly, I was still in my old house when I made this song, and I used this keyboard to do the synths, and I connected it to my PC using an interface, which was my general process back then. Jarvis, what's the status? Sir, it appears to be at 52%. Third track is Jarvis, and there's a bittersweet story behind this actually. So in 2022, when I was working on my mixtape Tuna Salad, I showed it to my friend Chad. Then he thought of this idea for a song where it was Iron Man talking to Jarvis, and Iron Man would basically be like, Jarvis, drop the beat. Then and became this like running inside joke between us and my other friends. Sadly, he passed away that same year. So I made this song to fulfill my promise and as a tribute to him as well. Rest in peace. The next track is my first single of the album, which was Digital Pests. Like the other songs, this was quite different at the start, but I sent it to Jack and he refined it and mixed and mastered it. So I started working on this in 2022 also, but only got released a year later in 2023. Next is Flyer Fall, which I released in December 2024 as a double with Where Are You. When I started making this album, I already had an idea to make a song with Delka, which is my brother. We even made songs that were in the original tracklist, but I guess my taste changed because okay, so this is one of the first songs I made with Delka for this album. No. Okay, this is another song I made with Delka. Eventually, I made Flyer Fall and then I sent it to my brother and he recorded his part and it was sick. But I felt like it still needed another feature, another rap feature. But I still don't know who at the time. Then, middle of last year, I met Ethan at a party. I mean, I already knew of him because we were in the same school, but I never actually got to meet him. And we talked about music, then I found out that he raps also. So the next day, I think, I sent him the beat and when he sent back his verse, I was like, holy shit, this is perfect. Then boom. So the next song is Ice Cold Palmer, which is my favorite of the album. So one time earlier this year, I was walking around my village listening to Nice to Me by Bladee or Blade, which is the greatest song of all time. And the line, I broke my wrist, I gotta ice it, really stuck out to me. And I remember because I would always talk about that line with ice, and that's why I had to shout him out in the song. Then it made me think, what if I made a song with metaphors of ice and being cold? So I made the beat and wrote the song. I wanted something melodic. Then once I recorded it, I showed it to Rolo, then he recorded the guitars at the end. Sweet Parfait is the next track. I made this with Rollo early 2023. I think that time I was really into UK drill. That's why if you notice my flow was really inspired by that. When the switch happens, the lyrics and that part were written by Rollo. I think around 2022, which is where the whole Sweet Parfait part comes from. Then the end of the song, you can hear Chino reading my write-up for my grade 7 yearbook. And if you listen closely, you can hear Rollo laughing at the back. Next is Where Are You featuring 2000 World Cup. This song was made around August of last year, right before I went to La Union with a bunch of friends. I wanted to make a song with Pat, so I got her to feature in this song. And if I remember correctly, there was a specific part that we were trying to figure out. Ping was there in the room too. Then he got my laptop and he fixed that part, which is the part where Pat saying sound was looped, which is really sick, and it was kind of like the missing piece part of the song. Then Pat hummed over that part, then boom. It was epic. Then we finished the song right before our trip to La Union, and we shot the music video there. Next is Slice of Life. I think I just moved at my previous house at the time, and the song is basically what was happening in my life at the time. I sampled a song from my band Bonsai Club, which was Disneyland of our album Ghost Boy. Next track is Peaches and Mangoes, which was one of the older songs also. I think I started working on it in 2022, and I always planned to get Ronman for this song. He recorded his verse in early 2023, and the song stayed pretty much the same until a few months ago. I kinda got frustrated with how the mix and the production sounded, so I was like, fuck it, then I changed it. I made a completely different beat, but I kept Ronman's verse and the somewhat hook of the song. And I really like how the new version turned out. Homesick was made in early 2023, I believe, but it was very different at that time. The beat was completely different, the song was more for rap, and even the rap went through different versions. It's the OG version of Homesick, I think. I think it was inspired by jpegmafia. Circumstances I can't control, got my mind in a rabbit hole. What can I do to ask for help? I can't even go. So if you notice, a lot of the lyrics are kind of the same, but changed a bit for the final version. I was kind of iffy about the song, so then I changed it and made the song more melodic. And I got Jack to mix and master it, and I released it as my second single. Swim Swim is the next song of the album. For the beat, I sampled Ozga's song Always. Shout out Ozga. Then I added synth to it. Then I looped the song and recorded whatever in like a stream of consciousness type of way. Then the next day, I cut it a bit and edited it and basically fixed the recording. Then the rap at the start that you hear is an old recording I had that I never released, which I wrote for like a writing exercise type of thing for myself so I can write better. Okay, the next song is Blastoise, which is the last single that I also released. When I was making the song, I was inspired by Jane Remover. It doesn't really sound like it now, but the earlier version was a bit darker, harder in a way, and slower. But I made it faster and more upbeat. The verse you hear in the middle came from a song that was supposed to be part of this album. I just transferred the verse and put it to this song. So the last track is Unplug parenthesis Space Jam 3. I believe I made this in 2023. I wanted the last song of the album to feel like an actual ending, like where everything culminates. The journey had to end in an epic way. The song starts with a sample from a video I was making with my friends. It was supposed to be this whole video skit thing, but it never really went through. Then the beat just hits. Then I sampled this video of me and my friends panicking because we're stuck in this treehouse. Then the song continues and has like 2 or 3 beat switches, because I really wanted this to be epic. The last beat samples Dance, which is the first single I ever released with my band, Bonsai Club. So it's kinda like this full circle moment in a way. For a time, the song just ends like that. But I knew something was missing. But I didn't know exactly how to end the song in the album. But then I found this video of a Facebook live I did with my friends a few years ago. And the ending of that live was so perfect. So that's the story in the process of my album. I want to thank everyone that helped me through the making of this album. All the features, all my friends. And if you did listen to the album, please let me know. Let me know how you feel about it, whether you like it or not. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't listened to it, it's out on all streaming platforms. You can stream it anywhere. The links are in the description down below. And don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, and like that.